Hi, my name is Liz Hathaway and this is my look at the week ahead. The week starting the 10th of February 2020. Well, as I speak, we have the last blasts of Storm Chiron. It's the first storm that's ever been given a name in the Netherlands, which is quite interesting. It means dark one. It's an Irish name and it's been pretty tempestuous here the last few days. Winds of 100 miles per hour. Fantastic, but very Mars out of bounds. Mars went out of bounds yesterday in Sagittarius, and it really does feel like a kind of wild, unpredictable energy when you're outside. You know, look out for flying objects, that sort of thing. Today we have Venus conjunct Chiron. Again, we saw very much the manifestation of this energy at the Oscars last night, where an outsider, the first ever film with subtitles, a South Korean film, won the award for the best film. I mean, Venus is very much about the arts, so the Oscars definitely falls under that remit. And an outsider film winning the Oscar seems to me to really exemplify Venus conjunct Chiron in a mundane sense. But we also had the opening of the Oscars by a black lesbian woman yesterday as well, which is very much this Venus in Aries, this feisty feminine energy coming through there as well. I love it. So Venus conjunct Chiron, what themes that we have in there? Well, I think the main thing is, in terms of anything that's coming up now, don't push it away, especially things that are connected to relationships, to sexuality, to our passion. You know, these are things with Venus Chiron, you know, that could have hurt us in the past and that we might be pushing away. So you could ask, what is in my relationship that's worth fighting for? What do I value in this relationship? But it's also about the relationship with yourself. I mean, yesterday I, made a collage with, nothing to do with Venus Chiron. I only realized the conjunction was taking place today. So these are two disconnected events on one level, but on another level, deeply connected. Because I just gave myself the freedom to cut out things from a magazine that I got from my neighbour, a very glossy magazine, which I'd never buy for myself. But I found myself cutting out perfume bottles and stiletto heels and all this kind of thing, which is very much, this kind of Venus in Aries thing. And I've made a card of that, and at some point I'm going to sit with that card and, this collage, and think about what it means to me and what comes up when I look at it. So yeah, it's very much as well, we're in Pisces season, Mercury in Pisces season, and Mercury is going to be going retrograde next week. It's time as well, certainly in the weekend this week on Saturday, when we have Moon in Scorpio and trine in that Neptune as well, to allow ourselves to be open for messages that are coming from below, that are coming from the oceanic depths of our being, if you like, in a way. Things that are non-rational, things that might be, as I say, coming from, from a deeper source. We should not push things away this week. It's very important to work with what comes up. I think that's a theme this week. On Tuesday, we have Moon in Virgo. Again, Virgo is very much about asking ourselves critical questions and working through the answers, really working through the answers, not in a superficial way, but really sorting things out. We've got Moon, of course, in the course of Wednesday as well. It's going to be trining all the Capricorn planets. So, yeah, there's work to be done on an inner level, definitely, for many of us, certainly for the women, many women. On Thursday, we get into Moon in Libra sort of season, shall we say, of the month, which is very much about balancing relationship, balancing my needs and the needs of the other. We see on Thursday, the Moon immediately squares Jupiter, so there's a tendency or possibility there of overcommitting, of taking on a responsibility without fully, taking into account what kind of pressure that will put us on, or what that might actually mean. Because once the Moon is squared Jupiter, it goes on to, of course, to square Pluto. There might be some anger issues, there might be some shadow things coming up there, things that we're projecting onto other people, for example. Then we get the trine on Thursday from the Sun in Aquarius, which is great because, the Sun is always, whereas, sort of Moon Pluto could be about the shadow, the Sun in Aquarius is very much about the illuminating thought, the clearing of the mind, the insight into the situation, which gives some air, which frees the airways in a way. And then we see Moon square Saturn, so then it becomes very much about down to business. There's a distance from the emotional side of things. It becomes very much about what needs to happen, what business needs to take place. You know, kind of, if we take away all the feeling stuff and we just get very practical about things. So there's also a kind of emotional cooling off. And then we see Moon sextile Mars as the last aspect there on Thursday. So yeah, we've done the business. So now we can get this show on the road. We can get the party started. We can move into the next phase. There's a sort of sense of moving forward when the Moon reaches Mars. On Friday, Moon is in Scorpio. Again, we get the opposition to Uranus, which is always interesting, I think, because there's that element. Uranus is still early on in Taurus, so for many people, I can include myself in this, some things are new, some things that are happening are new. And when, you know, we enter new territory, we don't know the lay of the land yet, you know, so we can expect some things to happen which are a little bit, oh, didn't expect that. But it's a kind of a learning curve when Uranus is in the picture. You know, things are changing. So, you know, look up and listen, you know, and grow and learn. Because there's the trine then to the North Node and the trine to Pluto by that, from the Moon in Scorpio. And on Saturday we get Moon again. It's coming into Jupiter. It's trine in Neptune. So again, Moon trine Neptune. What is coming up from the depths? What's coming up from the imaginative realm? How much can we allow into consciousness? How much can we absorb? And then we get the Moon square, the Sun in Aquarius. So there's always a tendency there of entrenched, you know, thoughts and feelings. You know, where can we move on? What can we let go of? And we get on Saturday, last aspect there, the Moon is sextile Saturn. So there's a lot of self-discipline here this week. And we need that because on Sunday we see Mars moving into Capricorn, where we get down to the real serious work at hand. You know, Mars in Capricorn is very much cut the crap, you know, let's move that mountain, let's get our shoulders and do it. There's a huge amount of ambition here and a huge amount of drive and push. And of course, yeah, the next week we'll see Mercury go in retrograde. So there's still that element of, you know, Pisces, there's those two fish there, you know, there's that ability to work outwards, you know, into the world, but also to keep connected to the deeper sources within ourselves. A really fascinating week, I think, this week. Enjoy. Thank you for listening. Bye.